Howdy. Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to this Friday edition of Timeout Overtime on the Timeout Overtime YouTube channel. I'm your host, Rick Arsenal. Thanks so much for watching and listening. You know the drill. If you haven't done so yet, please, folks, get down there and smash the like and subscribe button somewhere down there, okay? And be sure to tell your friends who haven't subscribed yet. The next subscriber to my podcast will be the winner. And if you're already a subscriber, you can tell them what they're going to win. Okay. Okay. Uh, 12, 15 minutes. I really don't want to go much longer. By the way, it's such a beautiful spring-like day today. This would have been a perfect afternoon for baseball at Comerica Park. But unfortunately, they're not scheduled to play there for another 14 days yet. That would be Good Friday, April the 3rd. Okay. If some way we could bottle this day up and save it for that day. Right. I was just looking. Of course, as you know, if you check your phone, the forecast changes every day. It's never the same 2 days in a row. And again, 14 days out, it's kind of hard to predict what the weather's going to be from now. But right now, they're calling for something in the low 60s and rain in the morning and clearing in the afternoon. Well, we might take that, but we don't need any rain at all that day because it's an all-day party from sun up to sundown in downtown Detroit. I don't think there's any other major league city where opening day is not as festive as it is in downtown Detroit with the beginning of the baseball season. I know a lot of people that I went one year to opening day, and there were some group of maybe 6 or 7 adults that we had parked close to, and they were just tailgating. They never went to the game. They were there when we left the car and went to the game. And when we got back after the game, they were still there, and it appeared to me as though they never left. They were just there partying all day. It was a nice day. I'm sure they weren't the only ones that doing that either. I think a lot of people do that. But so 2 weeks from today's opening day in Detroit, and we'll get to the Tigers in just a minute. But I want to get a few other things out of the way first. Basketball. As expected, the Spartans and Wolverines rather easily both won their opening round games yesterday. I have no doubt they'll both get to the Sweet 16. 12-10 tomorrow. Michigan will play a St. Louis team that scored 100 points yesterday in winning their game. And you talk about a team that likes to run up and down and really score quickly. It's that St. Louis team. Anyway, Michigan is favored, I think, by 5 or 6 points. Tomorrow, that's a 12-10 game on CBS. And immediately following that game, I believe also on CBS, you've got Michigan State and Louisville. I think Louisville is sixth in that region. Anyway, they're favored to win that game too. Look, I have no doubt that both teams will advance the next week into the Sweet 16. Get a lot more interesting next week. Of course, we'll have to wait until after the action tomorrow to see who they'll be playing next week. But I have no doubt they'll both be advancing. Upset, North Carolina did lose to TCU. Yeah, that was an upset. Didn't Wisconsin lose too? I think Wisconsin lost too. But before I forget, I'll save that for later on. So basketball, that's, again, the action will continue all weekend long. That's, I don't know if the people's brackets with upsets already, their brackets probably got messed up. But as far as the Pistons go, professional basketball, Jay Cunningham will be reevaluated in a couple of weeks for what they're calling a mild collapsed lung. Now, look, everybody heals differently. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I guess the hope is that he'll be back for the playoffs. I think the only problem now is if they were to win tonight and beat a Golden State team, depleted by injury. Both Currys are out, several other players. Their Pistons will probably beat them tonight at Little Caesars. Then they play the Lakers on Monday. But if they were to win tonight, they'd be 51-19 with 12 games left. Simple math says that they have to go 9-3 in order to get to 60 wins. I think 60 wins right now is a pretty irrelevant thing for them, especially with Cunningham out. Could they look, even if they don't get the number one seed, and I still think somehow they will, but if they don't, I still see them having home court advantage, at least in the first two rounds anyway. It'll probably be against the Hornets and then the Knicks. It looks that way. And now the third round, they'd be playing either the Celtics or the Cavaliers. And if they don't have home court, that might be a different story. But I'm getting way ahead of myself here. But everybody heals differently. And like I said, I'm not a doctor. All I know is that he'll be reevaluated in a couple of weeks. He could be ready to go then. I don't know. They might get him back for the last couple of games of the regular season. That's where that goes. Okay. Let's get our commercial applications out of the way here first before we talk any hockey. Finish Line Family Restaurant, which I am headed to immediately following this broadcast, is the best sit-down restaurant in our area. It's not close. They have been for more than 40 years, more than 4 decades, serving our community proudly. It is, it's not even close. It is the best darn sit-down restaurant in our area. Nothing comes close. Where do you want to start? The hours of operation, 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily. They're open till 8 on Friday with all-you-can-eat fish. Award-winning breakfast served all day. Fast, friendly service, great family atmosphere. Like I said, the breakfast served all day. It's a lot of new dishes. It's all good. I've had them all. It's great. Great food, reasonable prices. Like I said, fast, friendly service, great family atmosphere on Carlton Road in Hillsdale. Everybody knows where the Finish Line is. Directly across from Aeroswift Printing in between the railroad tracks. It's just, comfort food. I can't say it. And of course, I have no script. I'm not reading off of any script right now. What I'm telling you is a testimonial. And I don't know where this community would be without the Finish Line restaurant, really. It's great. It's a great, it's the best. Like I've said before, I can't stress enough. It's the best sit-down restaurant in our area. And I can promise you, when you fuel up from food at the Finish Line restaurant, you'll always finish first. And when the prices are right, the prices are fair, the food is good. What I'm getting at is when you leave the Finish Line, I can promise you, you'll walk out of there with a smile on your face, feeling satisfied. Okay. And I better see you there. All right. Okay. Right. We're also brought to you in part by Barrett Insurance. We got a question for you, seniors. Got a question for you. Have you got your playbook ready for Medicare? Well, do you? Don't let healthcare costs bench you. We're calling an audible with Joe Rudin at Barrett Insurance to help you navigate Medicare and health insurance. And he can do just that. Whether you're aging into Medicare, you're in a special enrollment period right now, or you're losing other coverage, Joe's got the stats and the know-how to help you score the best coverage for your needs. Plus, you get a game plan for retirement healthcare costs. Now, what about businesses? Well, don't get sacked. Joe's got group healthcare coverage options for you too. Give Joe a call at 517-849-1000 or check him out at www.barrettins.com. You find him on the corner of US 12 and M99 in downtown Jonesville. That's Joe Rudin Insurance, protecting your dreams. 517-849-1000. BarrettINS.com. Barrett Insurance, protecting your dreams. We're also brought to you in part by Quality PC in downtown Jonesville, 37 Waldron Street, 517-610-5372. This is another testimonial. I have no script for them either. Like I said, 37 Waldron Street, directly across the street from Fat Jack's Automotive. It's the only place in our area, folks, to go for tech service needs. There's no other place. This is it. Quality PC in downtown Jonesville. Whatever the issue you may have, Tim and his staff, Tim Lindley and his staff are more than capable of resolving any issues you may have. Computers, new or used, flat screen TV, mounting, programming setup, maybe you're changing internet providers, you need that installed. Printers, new or used, anything at all, please get in there and see them. Okay? 517-610-5372, or like I said, better yet, get in there and see them at 37 Walton Street in downtown Hillsdale and tell them Rick and Mickey sent you. Thank you very much. Hockey. Up to this point, it was probably the biggest win for the season for the Red Wings last night as they got into the third period down 1-0. Scored 3 goals to beat the Canadiens 3-1. And they've got another big game tomorrow night at the Little Caesars against the Bruins. This playoff scenario in the NHL is a mad scramble, and it will be right up to the end of the season. So you've got the Buffalo Sabres with 92 points. I'm talking about the Eastern Conference right now. The Carolina Hurricane with 92 points and the Tampa Bay Lightning with 88 points. So that's 3 teams, and they're all pretty well solidly entrenched in getting a playoff spot. Well, you can only have 3 more spots. And right now you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams. 6 teams in the Eastern Conference vying for 3 playoff spots. You've got the Red Wings and the Penguins and the Bruins and the Canadiens all with 84 points. And right behind them with 83 points, you got the Blue Jackets and the Islanders. Okay, so you've got 6 teams vying for 3 spots. Every game is crucial. Every point is crucial from here on in. What do I think? I think the Wings I think they're going to make the playoffs. Boy, I keep changing my mind every day on this. It's tough. They got Kopp is back. As far as Dylan Larkin goes, he's been practicing, but with no contact. I don't know how much longer he's going to be out. It's going to go right down the wire. At this point, I'd say it's 50-50 on whether or not they get in the playoffs or not. I wish I could give you something more definitive than that, but that's just the way I feel about it right now. I still just don't think they have enough offense. They're not getting enough out of their forwards to produce enough goals to get enough points. Look, they've got 84 points right now. What would they have to do? To me, I think that the magic number for them would be 95 points. If you get 95 points, I think you're in. Albeit maybe as a wild card team, but I think you're in. The closer we get to this, the more I have to say about it. But so 95 points to me would be the magic number for the Wings to get into the playoffs. But right now, 50-50. Okay. We'll talk about this tomorrow morning on the Timeout Show with the inimitable Mr. Rob Fuller. I'm sorry, I did it again. It's not Rob Fuller, it's Rob Weber. Rob Weber. I don't know what makes me think his last name is Fuller, but it's Weber. He will be sitting in for Andy tomorrow, who's on assignment. Okay. So give us a listen tomorrow morning. WCSR 92.1 from 9 to 10, if you would, please. We'll talk a lot about this tomorrow morning with Rob Weber, the voice of Charger football and basketball, by the way. Does a good job on that. We're not going to say much about the Lions today, except I can tell you that with all the moves that they've made in the last couple of weeks, saying goodbye to the older guys, Decker and Glasgow and Amik Robertson, Khalif Raymond, and bringing in the signings that they've made in the last couple of weeks. They've gotten a lot younger. albeit these are 1-year deals. These are younger guys. So looking at it, according to Spot Track right now, the Lions are the 4th youngest team in the National Football League as we speak right now with all these moves they've made. Of course, the draft is 6 weeks away yet in Pittsburgh. Yeah, the only 3 teams ahead of them right now, that would be the Dolphins and the Packers, who never sign anybody in free agency. They just seldom ever do that. And the Jets. So the 4 youngest teams, 1 through 4 in the NFL right now, are the Dolphins, Packers, Jets, and the Lions. Okay, so they've gotten a lot younger the last couple of weeks. The draft will be here before you know it. Obviously, the closer we get to it, the more we'll have to say about it. Okay, Tigers. The rotation is set. Believe it or not, they played another 4-4 tie again today. Their last spring game in Florida is tomorrow. Tarik Skubal started today, and he probably his worst outing in the spring, but who cares? The guy's healthy. That's all that matters. He's making the start 6 days from now at 4:10. Next Thursday at 4:10 in the afternoon, the Tigers will start the season. Okay, the season actually starts the night before that with the Yankees playing the Giants out in San Francisco on Netflix. So if you don't have Netflix, you're going to have to subscribe to that. Otherwise, you won't see the Yankees and the Giants next Wednesday night. Like I said before, they're going to grab you by the feet, folks, and then they're going to tip you upside down, and they're going to shake every last dime out of your pockets. You hear me? That's what they're trying to do. That's what they want to do. Not with just baseball, leader. Other sports, the other sports, football and basketball and hockey, and not just on the professional level, on the collegiate level as well. Okay, it's going to cost you a fortune to watch sports on TV anymore. By the way, the Lions have announced they've sold out season tickets again. Everybody who was on the waiting list got in. They didn't raise their prices this year, but so once again, the Lions are sold out in their season tickets. And just give you an idea what it would cost right now, what it would cost a family of 4 to go to a Lion game at this point. About $1,700. That's a family of 4. And that's just the tickets. That's just the tickets. It doesn't include parking, concessions, gift shop, or anything else. Incredible. And of course, then if you live out where we do, it's a 200-mile round trip voyage. And with gas prices up the way they are now, maybe you should include that in there too. What gas would cost you to drive to Detroit and back right now? Unbelievable. You have to mortgage your house. If you have a family of 4, you might have to mortgage your house. You want to go to a Lion game. So you're much better off watching it on TV. I made that decision a long, long time ago. And that's in regard to any other sport, either professional or on a collegiate level. You're much better off watching it at home. No lines for the restrooms or concessions. And you're sitting in a comfortable chair, and you're simply just much better off. Take my word for it. You really are. So the rotation has been set. By the way, the Tigers do break camp tomorrow, and then they'll travel to Sunday. They'll travel to Denver to play a couple of exhibition games with the Rockies on Monday and Tuesday. Next Wednesday, they will have a workout at Petco Park in San Diego, and they'll open the season next Thursday. Okay. The rotation is set. We do know that it's Tarik Skubal. The first 3 games in San Diego, Skubal, Robert Valdez, and Jack Flaherty. 3 games in Phoenix. That will be Justin Verlander and Casey Mize and Tarik Skubal. So Skubal will have made 2 starts before they even get back home to start the season. So that means the 3-game series opening here against the Cardinals will be Robert Valdez, Jack Flaherty, And then Easter Sunday night, 2 weeks from Sunday, on NBC, National Game of the Week, Tigers and the Cardinals, with Justin Verlander on the mound for the Tigers. That's the way that looks right now. And so I'm sure we'll discuss a lot of this tomorrow morning with the inimitable Mr. Rob Weber on timeout. And so be sure you give us a listening to that tomorrow from 9 to 10 on WCSR. And I will talk to you all again on Monday. Well, there's a lot going on this weekend, especially in college basketball. Enjoy all of it. Enjoy all the basketball this weekend because baseball takes over next weekend. Of course, you got hockey and basketball. It's a busy time of the year in the sporting world. It really is. And you got the Masters coming up, too, in a couple of weeks in Georgia, in Augusta. So that's going to do it. Like I said, have yourselves a great weekend. I'll talk to you all again on Monday. Thanks so much for watching and listening, and stay safe. And it's going to be a relatively nice spring-like weekend, so enjoy it. I'll simply bid you all a very pleasant weekend. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Remember to please treat each other with respect. So until Monday, I'll simply say, so long, everybody. Bye-bye.